Yeah, so finally we're going to be doing pivot table. We have really prolonged this for a very long time. We're supposed to have it like 2 classes ago, and then finally we're having it today. I'm so excited about it. In fact, pivot table makes the whole work easy for you. Everything you've been learning in the past, you're coming closer to the actual data analytics exercises like doing analysis, cleaning data, summarizing data, and of course, uh, doing all of your analysis using just maybe a table or a formula, or so all of those things of learned, your formulas, your functions, your all of those. Um, of course, you'll always need them. There are some cases when you're working on data, you need to create some new columns, some new calculated columns and all that with Excel or Google Sheets. Those formulas comes in handy. But when it comes to summarizing data, when it comes to analyzing data, categorizing data, pivot table comes into play. And even when we go advanced, like when we get to Power BI, you find it, in fact, the higher you go, the easier it becomes. Like that's how the whole thing is. The higher you go, the easier it becomes. So whatever concept we are learning, always try to, just grasp it at the moment, learn it, because you'd always apply it in the future when you get to the next step. So today we are doing pivot table. Now, what is pivot table? Pivot table is a very powerful and very useful tool in Excel. Of course, a pivot table is an interactive table that allows you to quickly sort out, count, total, and rearrange. So this is a table that allows you to quickly perform aggregation on a data. It could be a larger data set, you know, no matter how large or small your data is, a pivot table would help you to quickly analyze that data without having to do so much. It's just a matter of drag and drop and all that. So it helps you to analyze complex data by summarizing. So we are going to get to this summarizing in a short, just hold on. I'm going to show you what summarizing means and categorizing. So it helps you to summarize data uh, in various ways without modifying the original data. So pivot table does not allow you to modify the original data. Whatever you're putting into your pivot table has to be exactly what is in the real table, like in the actual table, because you cannot create a pivot table without having an actual table. You must already have a table that has all the data you're going to be using. That is, it has all the data in columns and rows. So you just transform it into a pivot table and be able to do your analysis or do your aggregation or whatever you're looking for. So I'm going to quickly show you that, but let me just finish up with this particular slide. So you just remember that there's no way there's no way you can modify the actual data when you get to pivot table. So whatever modification you want to do has to be done on the main table that the pivot table was created from. So what will only happen is that when you update or change or modify the original table, then you can just refresh the pivot table and it will take in the new data that you just added or removed from the table. Pivot table is a table of grouped values that aggregates the individual item of a more extensive table within one or more district categories. So I'm going to show you this quickly. Now, pivot table works in categories. So you're going to see that in action in a short time. It works in categories. You can group your data instead of having your data in a large or in scattered form. You can just use pivot table to have them grouped together, perform aggregation and all that. So I think we are just saying the same thing. Pivot table are among the most useful and powerful features in Excel. We use them in summarizing the data stored in a table. So I think we've explained this already. So why do we even need a pivot table in the first place? Because from everything we've done, we have seen that we can actually use our different formulas and functions to get whatever we need from a table. In fact, we can even go as far as using sort or filter or conditional formatting or different other ways to get the information that we need from a table. So why do we really even need a pivot table in the first place? So the first reason is because it quickly summarizes a large data set. So here you don't have to start writing any formula, you don't have to write any function, you don't have to do anything. Just at a glance, just at a click of button and drag and drop, you're going to summarize an entire large data set, no matter how large it is. So you're not writing formula, you're not writing function, you're not doing anything, just drag and drop, and your table is quickly summarized. Then it is flexible. Like I just mentioned, it is easy drag and drop field. So easily drag fields to change your view. So once you just drag and drop, everything changes. You can customize it the way you want so easily. You're going to see that shortly. Then it's very interactive. You can add filters and drill down your data into smaller units. So just like we have sort and filter in the other all the time that we've talked about other data sets. So you can easily use that same sort and filter in pivot table. So it has almost everything that you need. And you don't even need to write a formula or function. It is dynamic, just like I said, when you add new data, remember you cannot modify it though, but you can add new data or remove data from your table and just come to your pivot table and then refresh it. All right. So let us go into Excel and try to understand what we are trying to do here. So I'm going to, this is my Excel. Okay, so this is the data set that we are going to be using for our pivot table. I think we have used these data sets somewhere else. We used it in the VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP. Okay, it was the VLOOKUP. Yeah, we used it here. So we're going to be using it here as well. First of all, like I told you, you always, but before we come here, let me show you what we mean by categorizing and summarizing. So let's say we are playing a game, and then we are scoring points. So the name of people playing that game, maybe it could be three or four of us, and then each game we play, we score points. So I'm going to, let me say I'm playing that game. I'm in that game, Chris. Let me see, Isaac is in the game. Then maybe Cindy is also in the game. And one other person, four of us. Maybe Marco. Marco is in the game. So I scored maybe 40 points. Isaac scored 20. Cindy scored 40. Then Marco scored 35. Aha. So how the game works is when I play, the next person plays, the next person plays until the end of the game. So because of that, I am going to play again. So it's just going to repeat again, repeat again. Maybe we played 4 times. Great, like this. So in my second play, I scored 20. Then Isaac played again and scored 15. Then Cindy scored 29. Marco scored 50 this time. I played again and scored 39. Isaac played and scored 59. Then Cindy scored 40. And then Marco scored 20. I played my fourth round and scored 30. Uh, this person scored 17. This person scored 19. And then Marco scored 30. So this is the game. This is the game that we've played. This is the end of the game. Now you can see that this is like a table. You can see this as a table, but we have all of these points. You can see the different times I played the game, the different time this person played the game. So when it comes to pivot table, what pivot table will do is to summarize this data. Now, if you want to get the total score, you can get the total score of everybody. But what if you want to get the total score for each person? Just imagine that you have to start. In fact, it will be difficult to get total score for each person here unless this table is categorized and summarized. So let's categorize it. Let's put the name and then the points here. So the name is going to be Chris, right? The name is going to be just these four people. Just These 4 people. Let me paste it here. These are the 4 people that played the game, right? Uh, okay. So you can see now that for Chris, I scored 40 here. My first time, I scored 20 here again. So for Chris, it is sum of let me just do some. It is for Chris, it is this one. Then this is Chris again. This is Chris again, and this is Chris. Then for Isaac, it is so we are summarizing the data now, actually. For Isaac, Isaac scored here, Isaac scored here, Isaac scored here, Isaac scored here, right? Great. Then for Cindy, Cindy scored here. Then Cindy scored here, Cindy scored here and here. Then finally for Marco, Marco scored here. Then Marco scored here again, and here and here. Great. So you can see now that this is a summary of this table. This table was bigger, but the summary has given us a smaller table that summarizes all the scores from Chris. So at a glance, we can see that, okay, this is all the scores from Chris. This is all the score. Even at a glance, we can even decide, okay, this is the winner. Who is the winner in this game? Maybe this person is the winner, or this person, or this person. So this is like categorizing. We have categorized everything that has to do with Chris has been summarized here. We have categorized all the thing that has to do with Marco. Marco here, summarized here, all his scores summarized here. So this can be a larger data set. You could be working with a like very, very large data set, and this is just the way you summarize. So, when you are, okay, Marco is 135, really? Oh, we didn't add the last one. Sorry. We did though. We did though. This is supposed to be 20. Oh, thank you for that. So now you can see that we wanted to cheat Marco before, but I think he was the one that corrected it. So we can even sort. If we do sorting now, we can sort from largest to smallest, and then you can see that it was Marco that's that is supposed to, this is supposed to be Marco. Sorry, because this table is not really well arranged. So sorry, because it's not a table, it's not formatted as a table. If I format it as a table now, it is going to be able to respond to that sorting. Let's try the sorting again. Let's sort from the smallest to the largest. Largest to smallest, sorry. Okay. By the way, let's I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. That this is how you summarize the data. This is exactly what pivot table helps you to do. It picks a big data set like this and then summarizes it for you. You don't have, there's no repetition. In this other table, we have repetition of so many people that played the game several times in the different time that they played the game. The first time, the second time, and the third time. But here, we don't have that repetition. This table is smaller and easier to work on. You can easily get any value. You can easily get the average score for each person. You get, so I can just come here and convert this to average. Let me see. Um, you can convert to count. You can even know how many times that this person played. You can get the average. You can get whatever information we want to get. But at a glance, you can see all the information summarized in a smaller table. This is just the concept that pivot table uses to handle data, because the data sets are always very big. Like the data set you're going to be working on, they are usually very, very big and long. So you cannot come and start doing this is manual. I just did this one manually. You cannot come and start doing it manually though. But your pivot table helps you to automatically do this one. Do you understand? Please let me know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Does any person have any question with what I've done so far? This is what if you understand what I've done here, this is exactly what pivot table does. So imagine if I wanted to do this thing that I did here in this table, it is practically impossible because the data set is very big. Like it's very big. I have to pick each of this name and start tracing what score they have actually gotten. Or even if I don't want to do it manually, I want Excel to do it for me. It means I have to use a function. Who can remind us the function to use if we want to get what each customer scored, maybe the total revenue or sales for each of these customers? Who can remind us the function that we can use to get for each customer? Maybe for this Emily Johnson, this is what Emily Johnson got. This is the total for Emily Johnson. This is total for Michael Smith. This is total for Olivia Brown, if you want to get each of them down to, because of course, this is Emily Johnson, this is Emily Johnson, and this is Emily Johnson again. So if you have a longer data set, maybe up to 1,000 or 2,000 or 1,000,000, Emily Johnson will keep occurring several times. So we want to get all the sales amounts for Emily Johnson. Who can remind us the formula that we can use to get that if we wanted to use a function to do that? Because obviously we cannot come and start doing summarizing it this way, right? So we can just use a function to do that for us. Who can remember? Can you remember? Okay, the sum function. Okay. Are you sure it's the sum?
Some ifs,
Sum?
conditional, yes.
Okay, great. So we are going to use the sum if condition. So we are going to say sum if it is Emily Johnson, right? So we're going to use this one, sum if it is Emily Johnson in this range. So we are going to do that one by one. Imagine doing all of that one by one, one by one. That is going to be a whole lot. It's going to be a whole lot. So instead of doing that, pivot table helps you to even do that without even asking it to do it. It automatically do that for you. So now let's go into creating a pivot table. If you already understand what I did here, I just hope you understand. Now there are things you need to put in mind before creating your pivot table. Number one is that pivot table, before it can have a pivot table, you must have to format your data as a table. So this one, before I can have this as the pivot table, okay, let me do a quick pivot table here. If I don't format it as a table, I cannot use a pivot table. I cannot summarize a pivot table. Instead, what Excel will do, it will automatically turn it into a table for me before you now proceed to convert it. So let's do that. Let's insert. When you want to, you just come to insert and then click on pivot table. You can see pivot table here. Then it will tell you to select the range which table do you want to use, because it cannot find any table here. That is why it is asking me to select this range. Let me come here. Here we'll have a table. So if I do the same thing here, you can see once I click on this place, it's going to okay, I think I did not format this as a table. I removed the table, this thing in it. I removed the table. I just colored this thing manually. Let me see if I have this one is formatted as a table. I think this should be formatted as a table. If I click here, you can see automatically it selects the table for me because it has seen a table. So you can also rename this your table. Look at this place that says E9. You can name this your table. This place. You can name this your table. You can just come here and call it car sales, maybe cars. That's the name of this table now. So that has become the name of the table. So when I come back and then I do this, it automatically selects. Okay, I can come here and select. Let me see. I can change it from here. Hold on. I did okay, cars. This is cars. Our table is cars. Or was it this place that I saved as cars? Oh, this is where I saved as cars and not the table. So let me come here and save as cars. Oh, it's already formatted as a table. So I don't know. Let me see if I can get that. Car. Okay. Okay, so this is car A1. Okay. So because it sees a table, pivot table likes table. Pivot table actually likes table. It must have to be a table before it can work. So uh now because you can see it did not highlight anything, but when I click on the table before calling a pivot table, it automatically highlights everything. It's supposed to select down my card, but I don't know why it's not seeing it. I can actually, even if I don't want to use this table, I want to use another table here. I can also just go and select the table that I want to use. But I just wanted to show you that it automatically selects the table. But because here we don't have any table, so it's going to give us the option of selecting the table by ourselves. So when I click on this pivot table, I'll click here to select the table that I want to use. You can see it has selected the table, then it comes back, and then it will ask you if you want to where do you want the pivot table to stay? Do you want it to stay in the same sheet where you have your table or in a new sheet? So because we have space and we are not really serious about this, let's just use the same sheet. So you can see there's already data in lookup. Okay. Do you want to replace? Yes, then I'll just replace it. So you can see it has created a pivot table here, and I can summarize this data. I can do the same thing that we did before. I can just come here and say the name, put the name. Don't worry, I'm going to explain all this thing when we start the actual thing. Then I can put the values here. Now you can see the pivot table has done exactly the same thing that the other table did for us. You can see that, right? Let me remove it from here, down here. Okay. So the same thing that the other one did for us, the pivot table has done it and even went ahead to summarize the total points that was made from all the summation of all of this one. I can also get the average, I can get the count, I can get anything that I want to get here. So this is exactly how pivot table work. So you need to know that before you can actually use pivot table, your data must have to be in a table. If it's not already in a table, the pivot table will help you to put it in a table before converting it to a pivot table. That's number one. Then number two, you must take note of your heading. Make sure that your headings are properly uh, titled. Make sure that your columns are properly titled, all these columns, because pivot table is looking at your heading. It is going to pick each of these heading, each of these column names here. That is what it's going to work with. In fact, it is very, very strict. It is very, very cautious of the names that you have here. Whatever name you have here is what is going to pick as your different columns. That is what you're going to work with. In fact, that is the only thing you have to work with, because you're not going to see, once it summarizes your table for you, you're not going to see any of your data again. So you're going to be depending solely on these table headers. It is going to be showing you only these table headers. So you're going to only see the information in each of the table header when you want to work with any of the table header that you've picked, any of the column name that you've picked. So if I open if I pick sales, what I'm going to be seeing is just sales, this sales here and nothing else. So if I pick sales, then it's going to show me either the summation of all the sales or the aggregation. It's just going to do an aggregation, either the summation, the average, the count, or whatever. Anyone that I want is going to show me, because remember, pivot table does summarization. That is the basic thing it does. It summarizes your data for you and help you to do your analysis. So these are the things you need to put into consideration. You must have to know make sure you name your columns properly and then put your data in a table and all that. So now let's proceed to create our first pivot table for the day. So now this data, we already have it in a table. Okay, then I'm just going to come to, when you want to create your pivot table, you're going to come to insert. You can see insert here, click on insert. You can see pivot table, and then you can see recommended pivot table. So what this recommended pivot table, like you can see here, say want us to recommend pivot table that summarizes your complex data for you. This one, Excel automatically does the analysis for you. If you use this recommended pivot table, if you click on it, Excel by itself select all the necessary field, do all the summarization for you, like it will do all the work for you. So, but most of the times you don't use this one. Nobody uses this one because you want to do the whole thing by yourself from scratch. So you don't want to use this one, but if you want Excel to do the work for you, it will automatically suggest some KPIs. It will help you, okay, to suggest some things. Maybe you want to, because remember, when you have a data set, by default, you should look at the data set and know what possible, like you want to summarize the data set, so you know possibly the what data, what information that you can derive, what insights you can derive from this data, right? So here we have the customer's name. Let's start from here to understand the data set that we're working on. We have the customer's name, we have the order priority, that is the order priority, to know the order that was placed by this customer, which priority is it, high, is it critical, is it medium, is it an urgent, something that needs urgency. Like if you have a hospital now, someone that walks into the hospital and complains that they have headache, they are feeling, tired and all that. Then while another person comes in and that person is on ambulance, a woman in labor, who is the doctor going to attend quickly to? Of course, the woman in labor, because her own priority, her own should I it's not an order, her own, they call it emergency, right? So her own attention, she needs an urgent attention. So they will give her a better attention. If it's only one doctor in that hospital, they will abandon the other guy that came for headache or body pain to attend to the pregnant woman who is in labor, right? Because she needs an urgent attention, or her own situation is critical. Okay. So if the other priority is high, or it means he needs urgent attention. If it is medium, okay, it's normal. Then if it is low, it means, of course, so this is directly proportional to maybe if it's a company that delivers product. If they have an order with critical order, it means that order is that they will use any available means to deliver, to send out that order immediately to deliver it. Then if it is high priority, it means this order is really, really important and the owner needs it quickly. In fact, the owner can even go as far as paying more money for that delivery more than the person that has medium order. So this medium order can just be any, if there's any available bike, then they can go and deliver. But for low order priority, the company wouldn't really bother. It's possible that the customer does not even need it today. Maybe he doesn't need it today. He just place the order and need it some other time. So the company won't really bother. They will just follow the normal standard delivery procedure to handle this one. So that is the meaning of order priority. Then quantity, obviously, is the quantity that the customer ordered. Then the sales is the sales that was made, the amount that was made from realized from that particular order that was placed. Then the discount is the discount amount that was given to the customer for, maybe depending on the quantity they bought, how high or how low the quantity they bought. And then the shipment mode, just like I mentioned, the other priority. So the shipment mode so we can decide to, okay, we'll come back to the analysis later. Let's just explain the data set finish. Then the shipment mode means the method of delivery that they are going to use to deliver that order. So you can see that critical order or high order may need standard or express. High order may need express delivery. Low order may need just normal standard delivery. Don't really need to rush, but critical orders may need urgent delivery or something like that. So the profit made from this order is in this profit column. Then, of course, the region. We need to also know the customer's region, because we need to know where to deliver the order to. Then we want to also classify it under different customer segments. This customer is a wholesale customer. Of course, you can see they bought 33. So for wholesale, for retail, they bought 33. Means this retail means that they are actually not wholesale. Then for wholesale, they buy more quantity because they are reselling it to retail consumers. And then for corporate means offices, they are doing office supply. Then this is the date the order was placed. So from now, you can see that this is a supermarket data set, or they have a store, they have product that they sell, and this is their data set. So from here, as a data analyst, you may want to look at this thing even before going to pivot table to summarize or analyze, because for you to go to pivot table, it means you already know what you want to go and summarize there. You want to go and analyze. Remember, I said we are not using this recommended. If you use recommended, Excel is going to help you analyze this data and then give you all the pivot table that you need. But here you need to know on your own what are some of the information that I may need to get from this data set. Now, of course, I may want to look at, okay, profit, which region give us more profit. So we may want to plot region against profit to know which region we are making more profit from. We can also look at sales by customer segment, which particular customer segment is giving us a lot, giving us a lot of sales, and where are we making lower sales. Then you can look at the other priority and look at the delivery method. Are they related? Which delivery method delivers faster? Do we deliver orders that has critical priority through express or standard? Why are we using standard to deliver critical order? We're supposed to use express, something like that. Then for low orders, okay, we are using normal standard delivery. Does the delivery time have any impact on the priority? We want to also know that. And then we also want to know, does the quantity have anything to do with other priority? Does it mean that any person that places more order will not deliver it faster, or is any person that places one order, lower order, will ignore their order? For example, this person that placed 10, you can see it is low. So does it mean we use standard because their order? So you want to know, you want to do a deep dive, like you want to, have all these insights to understand what is really, because your manager doesn't know what is going on here. Your CEO, it is you now, it is your job to look at this data and bring out insight from this data and then recommendation, because you can say, okay, we are making more sales maybe in Ontario, and then we are not making any sale in Sketches 1. So you want to know why. What is the reason? You now begin to look at the shipment mode. You want to look at the discount. Is it because they have a low discount, something like that? Do you know? So these are all the things you want to actually look. So before you now move to pivot table, you've already known, okay, these are the things I'm going to be plotting against this and against that. So without wasting much time, let's jump into it. So now we already know that we can come to insert. When we click on insert, we can now see pivot table. So I'll click on pivot table, and then it's going to automatically select our table because that's seen our table. But if it is not selected, you can also select the table yourself. So let me just click out here and do it again. You can see the table was not selected. So I'm going to come here and then select the table by myself, and make sure you start from here. Once you click here, you can see it select all the up. Then you can click on Control and Shift to drag down. It will go down, or you can drag it manually by yourself as well, and that is also fine. Once you've selected all the tables you want to use, you come back here, it will bring you back here. Then the next important question is, choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. So if you say you want it to be placed in new worksheet, it means Excel is going to leave this table and create a new worksheet automatically and place your pivot table there. But if you want it to remain in this existing worksheet, Excel will just come here to this side that is empty and create your pivot table. So you're going to have your pivot table in the same sheet with your table side by side. So, but most times this is not the ideal way to do it. You need to have your pivot table in a different sheet entirely so that you can know that this is the pivot table sheet. And then this is the table, the original table sheet. If you want to make any changes, you can come to the original table and change whatever data you want to change. And just go to your pivot table worksheet and refresh. It will automatically um, effect the changes because they are both connected. So most of the times you're going to use new worksheets because you want your pivot table to be in an entirely new worksheet. All right. So I'm going to click on OK. Automatically, it creates a new worksheet for us. So look at the pivot table here. Look at the new worksheet. So the first thing you want to do is just to rename it. So pivot. So you want to rename it like pivot or anything you want to rename it to, it's up to you. All right, so when we come here, you're going to see a lot of things. Everything on this ribbon is same, everything you already know, but automatically you can see that it brought us to this particular pivot table analyze. Before, this pivot table analyze was not here, right? It was just other ones. So because we now have a pivot table, it brings the tool that you need to work on the pivot table with. All these things are the things you're going to be working with. This is the name of your table. You can rename your pivot table here if you want. Maybe the name of that supermarket, it could be let's call it Chris. Could be Chris Mart, Chris Supermarket. This becomes the name of your pivot table. All right. Then when we begin to work, you see all these things. You can add slicer, you can add timeline. We are going to use all of this. Is you can refresh. Remember, I told you about refresh. When you add any new information to your data or you change anything, you just come back to your pivot table and then you can use refresh. It will automatically update that information. Then you can clear, you can select, you can use all of these things. You can even add a chart. You can add a chart. You see that place out, the other place we saw recommended pivot table. You can also see recommended pivot table here. Then you can see pivot charts. So when we begin, you can also create a relationship between, okay, when we begin to work with it, don't worry, you're going to get used to all of these things. Then this place you're already familiar with here, of course, is the same Excel, but this is the actual pivot table here. This thing you're seeing here is the actual pivot table. Then you have this pivot table field. This is the most important part of your pivot table that you must pay attention to. So color field to add reports. So here you can do a lot of settings. You can see all these things are different settings that you can give to your pivot table. So this is field section and area. So this is how the pivot table currently, you can change anyway. You can also sort when we begin to work with it. When we have a table, you can see all those things in action. Then remember what I told you about the headings, right? Remember the heading. So here you have it. This is all the headings to your table. You can now see we have customer name, the order priority, the quantity, the sales, the discounts, the shipments, and all this. So this is the exact column names you have. Those data are gone. They are automatically summarized and put into all of these headings, and which is what you have here. So uh you can see down here drag field between areas. So these are the most four important part of your pivot table: the filter column, the filter section, the column section, the row section, and the value section. This is what does the magic. This is what does the magic. So this is where you do the summarization of your data. So let's say we want to summarize, remember, for example, we want to know the sales that was made on each region. We want to know the sale that was made on each region. So this is on our table. You can see this. This is the sales. You can see the region, right? So this is the sales that was made in Ontario. This one was also made in Ontario. This, sorry, in Quebec. This was made in Quebec and all that. So you're not going to see all of these things repeatedly. Pivot table is just going to give you only one Quebec, only one Ontario, only one British Columbia, only one Alberta. Let's go and check that in action. So we want to check region, sales made in region. So the first thing I need is the region. This is my region column. So I'll drag this region and bring it to row. So the one, let me repeat, what you put in this row and column is values. Sorry, like text or like row. That row now is value. So you can see row is value. Other priority is value is text. Um, region is text. Customer segment is text, right? Then shipment mode is text. But when you have sales, sale is values. You have numbers. You can see quantity is numbers. So any column that profit is numbers, any column that has numbers goes to the value. This is value here. You cannot come and put sales here. You only put row, in your row or in your column, you only put those text, column that have text, maybe categorical text, maybe the region, the name of customer, the segment or whatever. But anything that has to do with values, you put it under value. Then filter is maybe you want to filter by a particular distance. So let's start. Let's do one. So maybe we want to check the sales that was made in each region. So we're going to drag region and place it in row. You can see it is now in row. So this row and column is the same thing. Row is just that it appears in row. You can see this is row, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. So that is why you have it in row, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 5, just like that. If I place it in column, it will just put them in column. It will lie them like this, column 1, column 2, column 3. So let's see that. If I leave it in column, you can see Alberta is in column 1, British column 2, column 3. So it means I want to see the value of Alberta here. I want to see the value of British Columbia here. I want to see the value of the sales of Ontario. I want to see the sales of Quebec. I want to see the sales of CSS1 and then the total. So this is also if you want to see your own in like this, but I don't really like, I want to see what we are used to, we are used to columns, because I want it to be like this, just like this, column by column. So have it in column. Now you can see that here we have Alberta so many times, appearing so many times. This is Alberta, this is Alberta, this is Alberta, this is Alberta. But in our pivot table, it is just one Alberta. It cannot repeat that summarized. Everything that has to do with Alberta is in this one Alberta here. Everything that has to do with Quebec, even though you have plenty Quebec, see Quebec, 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 Quebec here, but it just summarizes it to one. So let's see all the sales that was made. Now remember that sales is what? Value. Sale is numbers, right? It has figures. So we are going to put sales in values. So automatically it gives us all the sales. This is all the sales that was made. Some of the sales, you can see the title, some of the sales that was made in Alberta, total. So if you were going to find the sum of the sales made in Alberta, you probably use some if, then you choose Alberta. It will now go through the table and get only the sales made in Alberta, and the total is going to give you exactly this. This is now the British Columbia, this is Ontario, this is Quebec, each of them summarized. Then you can see your total. You can also remove this total if you don't want. You can also rename a format cell. You can also rename your table, or you can come here and also do some formatting. You can do a lot of formatting to your data if you want. Let me come back to it. So you can see the way it summarized everything, just like the exact thing that we did during that score when we played that game, that summarized for each of the. So you can see that this big table that we have here, this big table, you can see that it is only actually just 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 regions that we have in this. But if you look at the table here, it's so big that you think we'll have a lot of regions. But with pivot table, you can see that it was just only, we are working with only 5 regions in Canada. You can see that. So you can also get the average. This is the total sum for each of them. This is the total sum of sale that was made. So you can even see, you can even sort them. You can come here and do sorting, sort from smallest to largest or the largest to smallest. So it will help you sort it. At a glance, you can see that it was in British Columbia that we made the highest sales, followed by Alberta, then followed by Ontario, then Quebec, and then this one is the least sale that we made. It was the least sale. So you may now want to begin to ask, okay, why is SKSS1 not actually giving us good sales? And why is British Columbia giving us a lot of sales? Then you can begin to look at other factors. It could be that we have more rich people here, or maybe we'll have more our stores, we'll have many branches in this particular region, or anything. So there could be so many factors that will contribute to that. Do you understand? Please, are you people understanding? Can I get your reaction? Are you following? Do you understand anything?
Yes, I understand.
All right, great. Vicky, well done. So this is it about pivot table. And it is not just that. Um you can also do a lot of things. You can come to this value right now. You can come and you can see what we have here is sum of sales, right? So maybe you want to get the average. You can just come here, click on this one. You can just come here, click on this one. You can see value field. If you click on this value field, it's going to open here for you. Then you can change the name of this sales of sum of sales. You can just rename it to maybe total sales, anything you want. If you like it as sum of sales, you can leave it as sum of sales, but I want it as total sales. Then you can click on enter. You have renamed it. And not just that, you can also, in case you don't want to find the sum, you just want to get the average sale. Average means that at all in this Colombia, every month we must get a particular number of sale. That is average. It can be above, but it can be below, but it must be within that range. So you can come here and change this total to just come to value field. Now you can see different aggregations that you can do. You can get the counts. You can count the total number of sales that were made. You can get the average. You can get the maximum sale, the minimum, the of course, the products, you can't, all of these things you can get. So let's say we want to just have the average. I'll select average and click on OK. So you can see it has changed to the average sales that was made. So let's take it back to sum. We want to get the sum of sales, total sales. Then it is the total sales that was made in that region. And you can even add more. You can decide to have at a glance, you want to see the total sum of sales that was made. You also want to see the average sales, and then you also want to see the count of sales. All you need to do is just to bring cell again, bring cell here. You can see cell, then change this second one to average sales. This is average sales. Click on it. Then you want to bring sales again, the third time. Then you want to change this third one now to, sorry, I placed it in value. Yes. Sorry. So if you want to remove it, you just pull it out from that place. Oh, sorry, it has gone out entirely. So I'll place this one here. I can put this one here. I can change this one to average, right? So I can just change this one to average or even count. Let's say I want to know the count of sales that give us that total amount. Then you can see. Let's sort it again by highest. Let's sort it by largest to smallest. So imagine in British Columbia, we had the highest sale, and it was only 8 sales that we made that gave us this highest sales. While in Alberta, we had over 12 sales. In fact, we have more sales in Alberta, but it didn't give us a highest amount. So it's possible, just like one day, the other time that we discussed about the our favorite customer and our loyal customer, VIP customer, So it could be that maybe somebody bought something of huge amount in this British Columbia because rich people live here actually. In fact, British Columbia is one of the richest provinces in Canada, region in Canada. So then here you can see that in Toronto, in Ontario, this we had 10 sales, and it was not even close to the sales we made in the amount of sales we made in this total sale amounts we made in British Columbia, even though they had more sales. So you can see that 12 sales were recorded here, but it didn't give us the highest sale. So it could be that these people bought things that are cheaper or something, but these people spent more money in our store. So our VIP our VIP customers will definitely come from here, even though we had more loyal customers here, because the more people come to your shop to buy, the more loyal they are to your business, right? So then in sketches one, have the lowest sales, we can now see clearly that the reason why SKSS1 give us the lowest sales is because there were no much sales going on there. It was just only one customer that bought something worth 350. Imagine if we had maybe 10 of these customers, just like we had in Ontario. If we had up to 10 of them, they may even have exceeded even British Columbia. Imagine 10 people buying 35. That would be like 35K, and the highest sale is 33K. So you see, so as a data analyst, you may want to begin to now advise your company that, okay, could it be that we do not have enough marketing? Our marketing team are not doing a good job here, or what is actually, or do we have competitors? If we have competitors, what are they actually doing that we are not doing, that we are recording such poor sale in this region? Or have we done everything? Do we even need to close down this shop, this branch in Sketches One? Because imagine this sales, this is the same period of time. Maybe this is 1 month. The cost of running the business here is exactly the same cost you're spending here. So you're actually in loss. You're losing money by running the business here, and it's not yielding any profit. And you cannot, if you cannot strategize to improve the sales here, that means they have to shut down the business in that region. So these are all you can see. Without bringing this to pivot table, we wouldn't have known all of this information. So you can see that you're now doing a deeper dive. You're now deriving more insights. You're now summarizing your data through this pivot table. So I would like to take some question now, please, so that I'll understand that you are following and understand what we're doing. Just like 3 minutes. Let's take question in 3 minutes. Please ask your question. You can unmute.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah, Cindy, go ahead.
Oh, sir, what I'm going to ask is I see that this pivot table is the same as this function that we're using, but I think it's the simplest way. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct, 100%.
Okay, that was my.
Yes, it's the same thing that we've been doing, the same function, but just like in function, you have to write function, it takes time. Sometimes you can even forget the function, you'll be getting errors and all that. But this one helps you remember one of the features, say it quickly summarizes your data. So it helps you to summarize your data quickly without wasting time.
Okay, sir. It's good.
All right, Cindy, thank you. So we need more questions. Please ask your question if you have any before we continue. Okay. Kiki, go ahead.
Okay. Can you explain that area where we have rows, columns, values? Can
Okay.
you explain that area again?
So, so I want to remove this one. I'll just remove it and it's gone. So now we have in your pivot table, we have this four section. This is the four section. This four section gives you everything you have in your pivot table. What it means is that this place that you have row, I have this information in the row.
Okay.
So the only information that will be in this row and this column is just like your normal row. This is your column, right? In Excel, this is your column. All these things are columns, and these are your rows. All these ones are your rows. It is the same thing. So it is you now that will choose whether you want to use row or column. If you want your data to be in column one, so if you want to use column now, this British Columbia will be in this column, this Abata will now be in this column, this Ontario will be in this column, and their value will be under them. So, but it will look somehow. Let's try that. Let's see that. So if I move this region now, put it in column, see how it's going to look. So British Columbia is now in a column, and this is the sum of the sales that was made. Alberta is now in a column. Ontario is now in a column. Quebec is now in a column. Saskatchewan is now in a column. And this is the total with their values. So that is why if you put it in column, it will be in column. And you must always put your values, any column that has numbers, values, you put them in, you put it under value. That's why I have your sales in value, because sales has values in it. You can see sales, it has numbers, while region has letters, has text, because you cannot perform aggregation on it. That is why you put it in column or region. Sorry, column or row. But for the ones like discount, we can perform aggregation. We can get the total discount that was given. We can get the total sales that was made. We can get the total quantity that was sold. We can get the total profit that was made. All this one that has values will always be pushed to values. So let me bring this one back to row. It looks better. Or don't it look better? Do you prefer the other one? Do you prefer row or column? Which one do you prefer?
It's better on the road.
Under row, right? Great. So
Yes.
that's why we have it in row.
Okay.
All right, so now let's do another one. So all you need to do is just to come here, pivot. You can just duplicate. No, I don't want to duplicate. I just want to copy this table, then copy, then put them in another, place them here. All right, so but I'll remove this and I'll remove this. So I have my pivot table here. I can now do another pivot. So what else should we get? Let someone tell us what else we should get. Somebody should tell us what else should we. Here we got the region, the sales by region. So the title of this pivot table will be sales by region, right? When we get to dashboard design, we'll proceed to, we'll also do that. You know how to put your, design your dashboard, put the titles and the names and all that. So we got the sales by region. So someone look at this data set and tell us the next thing you may want to. It can be anything. It's not like there must be something you get. It's you now that is doing the analysis as a data analyst. It's whatever you present your stakeholders that they will take. Anything you show them that the data is saying, that's what they will believe. So you must have to know what you're doing for you not to go and deceive them and tell them what is not right. And then fold, if you lie to them, you fold the company. So you have to know what you're doing. Use your, be smart to know which information or how to, analyze your data. So someone should tell us what else should we look at from the data set you have, everything here. Yeah, go ahead, Philip.
Let's go with the customer that had the highest order.
Customer with the highest order. Okay. So how do we achieve that?
Um, okay, sorry, let's go with that's the customer that bought the that had the bought the highest merchandise or something like that. So
Okay.
probably let's
So we're going to drag customer to row.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite plenty. Then we're going to drag quantity because we want to know the customer that bought the highest quantity of orders, right? Or maybe the customer that bought, you can do a lot of, you can know the customer that bought the highest sales, that will make the highest sales. You can also summarize the customer that bought the highest, give us the highest profits, or the customer that,
put the highest discount.
the discount, exactly. It's customer that will give the highest discount so far. So, but now we want to know the customer that bought the highest quantity. So you put the quantity in the region. And then, of course, there are so plenty. So you can come here to your row label. You can see filter. You can see all the customers. You can even see each of the customers. You can sort them from A to Z. And then you can also add values and all that. But we want to get just the top, maybe. Okay, first of all, we want to get the top 10. Since there are so plenty, don't always use your, because you're not really interested in, even if you want to give them anything, it's between the first 5 or first 10, right? So you want to know the highest. So you can just come here and then summarize by value. And then you can also do show value as. You can show value as percentage. You can show value as different things. Then let me see, pivot table option. Okay, so we cannot even sort. There's no sorts here. If I want to sort, I'll click on a number here. Then I'll click on sort. Then you can see that our sort has actually come out. We can sort from highest to lowest. Count. We can also get the count. We can know the count of order that each of these customer place, because what we have here is the quantity of orders. We can also know that. So these are all the things you can do. So many things you can do here. Then format cell. You can also do value field setting, pivot table option. So let's sort from largest to smallest so that we can even see how many customers will have. Let's see more options. You still have more options. You can get from smallest to largest, from largest to smallest, from top to bottom, and from left to right. So we are interested in large to smallest. Then we can see that this person, Anderson, bought the highest, then followed by Harper Clark and all that. So you can see the total quantity. So you can actually do away with this Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Success.
Sir, the question I want to ask is using this spiral table, it doesn't support formula.
Ah, so you can remove this grand total. You don't have to, there's no point, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, did you just join? Did you join just now?
No, the reason why I asked this question is that initially you made a statement that maybe you want to get the top 10 customer. So I was thinking since the pirate table have already produced a very large data set for you, maybe formula can just, make it small for you. That's why I'm asking.
Everything you need is already in the pivot table. Everything you need is already in the pivot table. So any formula you need is already inbuilt. You don't have to write any formula by yourself. All right. So let's see. We can actually get and summarize. Okay, this is like formatting the table. You can get the top 10. Let me see. From here, let me see if I can do it manually. But if I cannot, I can just select, but I cannot come here and start selecting. So what I'll do, come here. What I'll do is to summarize by no. Okay. So what I'll do is come to this value filter. You can see this value filter. You can get your top 10. Can you see equals, do not equal, greater than, equal to, less than, between, not between. Then you can see top 10. If you click on top 10, you can now top 10. If you want your top 5, you can just select top 5. If you want top 20, you can select top 20. If you want top 5, to show you only 5, you can see. Then by item, you can see sum of quantity. You're finding a top 10 by sum of quantity. We are looking for sum of quantity. You cannot use alphabet to do top 10 because you cannot quantify these ones, but you can quantify numbers. So you can see that 150 is greater than 129 and it's higher than 104, 103 is greater than 102, 102. So we want to have only the top 5. You can see 5 here. If you want to have the top 30, 40, you can write it here. If you want to have the top 10, you can write it here. If you want to have the top 5, I just want the top 5. Then I click on OK. It's going to automatically give you just the top 5. So you can now know that these are the top 5 customers. You don't have any business with those lower ones. So you can just customize. This is mostly useful for if you want to recommend advertisement or campaign objective for your marketing team in the company. You can show them, okay, these are the top 10 customers. Customize your ad, because you're already buying, they already are favorite, like loyal customers. So your ads to them shouldn't be like, hey, come and buy. Imagine running an ad to everybody, all the customers, telling them, oh, come and buy, we have stock. These people already know what in fact, they literally know every single item you have in your shop. They know already. So you cannot be showing such ads to them. You have to customize their own ads to maybe run a promo that we actually have this new product that you haven't tried and we're currently running a promo on it. Would you want to get it? Something like that. Then those other lower ones that are not really often really buying a lot, you can now customize a different ad for them and all that. So does that answer your question, Success?
Yeah, thank you, sir. But can you just do it again? The place you entered.
Okay. So
Thank you, sir.
we have all these people. So I also have the grand total. So this grand total doesn't make sense because, okay, you may want to know the total that you got from here. This is fine. But for this quantity, you want to also know the total quantity of item that was sold. But in this case, it's not really necessary. Or let's leave it for now, remove it later. I usually just remove it. I don't use it. So I want to get the top 10 or the top 5 customers in my customers table because there are a lot of them. Because I want to maybe give gifts or run my ads to them. I'll just come here because I want to use quantity. I cannot get the top 10 from their names. If I click on the names, it will not work. So I have to be on the quantity side. Then I right click. Or sorry, not right click, not here. You go to this thing that looks like a filter. Look at this thing. You can filter out. If I want to get the information about only one customer, I can just unselect all. I want to know information about only Abigail, then I'll just click on it to show me only Abigail. Only Abigail has got all these one orders. But I don't want only Abigail. I'm seeing all of them. I can actually come here and select the top 5 that I want, but I don't even know them because I'm not seeing their value. So it doesn't make sense doing it manually. So you just allow Excel to do that for you. You come here, come to this place that you have value field. You can see. It's just like where you have that your format, when we did conditional formatting, we have different options. So here, you can say, okay, I want to format this cell to equal to so. So it will be that any number that is equal to this number, leave it and remove the rest. Or if you want to say does not equal to any number, that any person that did not buy up to this quantity, don't show it. But this one, it means you have to write some kind of conditions. Then greater than any order that is greater than 100, show me that order. But what you can do all of this thing, but what we are interested in, or you can select orders that are between maybe 50 to 100. It will filter out other ones and show you only orders that are between 50 to 100. Then top 10, we want to get the top 10 highest. It will come here, top 10. Then if you want to get the bottom 10, the list, you want to know the least people that are not really, because you want to market products to them, you click on this and get bottom 10. It will show you the least people. If you click OK, you can see these are the bottom 10. This bottom 10 now means they are not really buying much from us. Then we are not really interested in that bottom 10. Once you get, you come here, clear, you can clear your filter, clear it will come back. Then we'll come back here and go back to filter field, go to top 10. We want top 10, not list 10. We want to really appreciate our top 10 customers, but maybe this top 10 will be too much. I want only 5. I have only 5 maybe gifts to give to my 5 top customers. Then by item, yes, these are the items they bought. Then by sum, look at sum of quantity. So it can also be average. In case you did average, what you see here will be average or so. So we want to use this sum column, since we cannot actually do aggregation here, but we can do aggregation here, because if it comes to sum column, it can see that 150 is higher than 129. 129 is higher than 103. 103 is higher than, just like that. It will use that hierarchy to grade it for us. Then if you click on OK, it will automatically do that summation for you. It will just remove, So even if we did not sort it, it will automatically sort it for us. So let's do the one that we did not sort. Maybe it was not sorted. I think I've started it already. Well, let me see if I can unsort. Okay, here. So you can see it is not sort. It is not sorted. All right. So you can see, come here and do the same thing. It will automatically sort it for you. Top 5. I want to have only the top 5. Then it will automatically sort it and then remove the smaller ones and leave the higher ones for you. So you can see, okay, because we didn't sort it now, let me sort it now, but it has selected the highest 3 among them. Then you can now do the sorting for you to just see that they are actually the highest 3, the highest 5. Are we all on the same page?
Yes, I appreciate it.
All right, so that's it. So let's create another one. I think the time is, I don't know why time runs this fast. So we can now come to the pivot table. We can remove this. So someone else should tell us, thank you for that, for Desire, for giving us this insightful this thing. So someone else should tell us what to have in this place. What should we look for here? So here we have seen, here we're able to,
mode and
eh?
shipping mode and customer segment.
Great. So we want to know shipping mode and customer segment. This is the shipping mode.
This thing too.
Shipping mode. Does it make any sense? You want to know the shipping mode by customer segments.
You can know sales by segment, but
Okay, which
shipping
we
mode
want to
and
know
segment is not.
which customer segment has the highest critical shipping mode. That's also possible, but it doesn't I don't think it makes sense. Maybe you want to compare, you want to know
Profit and
which
region.
profits
Profit and region.
and region. You want to know which region gives us the highest profit. That's great. That's a great one. So the region should go where and the profit should go where?
The profit should go to the values, and then the region should go to the road.
Okay, so I'll put region in the row and I'll put the profits in the value. Great. So we can see that Abata. Okay, let's now see the sum of sales. If sum of sales is related to profit, since British Columbia has the highest sales, let's see if we actually made. It's not about number. It's not about like you have plenty of sales. Let's actually know if we made Let's even, it could shock us that we even made the highest profit from sector one, even though they have the lowest order. So let's now see. Thank you for even bringing up that. Let's see if these plenty sales we made here still amounts to highest sales. So let's sort this one. If we sort it from largest to smallest, you can see that Ontario, even though we made lesser sale, third sale, this is the third highest in Ontario, but it gave us the highest profit. Can you imagine that? Normally now you can say, okay, because we made more sale here, that British Columbia will be hailing British Columbia, that they are our best customers are there, but we are not actually making profits. And now you can imagine that in let's even do count. Let's add counts. Let's add counts here. Let's add counts. Let's format this as count. Count. Great. I think we did that before. So you can see that in Alberta, we made the highest, like we sold the highest items, 12. But does it amount to profits? Because at the end of the day, what we care about is our profits. Are we making money? How much profit? That's what the CEO is all about. It doesn't care how many he sold, but how much profits are we making? So Alberta, we made 12 sales, but it still didn't give us the highest profits. In Ontario, we made only 10 sales, and it's like the third highest sales that was made, but it gave us the highest profits. That's why we're really making profits. So now, would you rather invest more in a city or region that is making you more sales, or a region that is making you more profits? Who can answer that?
A region that is giving us more profit.
Of course, more profits. We're interested in money, not stories. And so this is what analyzing. What we're doing here is data analysis. Now we're analyzing the data we have. Before it was in a table, but now we have analyzed it. We are bringing out insights. We can see. We can now go boldly tell in a board meeting, tell the board members that, look, we are making a lot of sales in British Columbia, but the profit is coming from Ontario. So that Ontario, we should focus there, invest more money there if possible, open more branches. That is where the money is. So if we have 2 branches in British Columbia before and 2 in Ontario, we may want to open more in Ontario before considering British Columbia. But this is not
let's
general.
find the average profit.
Okay.
Or
So
the discount given to each region, total discount.
okay. So we can also add profits here instead of average profit, instead of having to create a new listing. That can just bring profits here, put it here, and then change the field to average. Come here and change it to average. So we can also see the average profit made has been sorted out. It's still from Ontario. It gave us the highest average and all that. Are we following? Are we getting insights?
Arrange the average. I think when you arrange the average, the last one is stopping the average profit.
Okay, should I sort it? You mean I should
Yes,
sort?
from the largest to the smallest.
Okay, so I'll just sort and then largest to smallest. It's not sketches one. I can't
Yes.
believe
So you
that.
see, yeah.
I can't believe that. Hmm.
So I mean that that one is better than the this thing.
You see? So this is amazing, guys. So you can also let me see if we can also format. You can also format decimal places. You can also reduce it. So, but you can also do that. You can just come highlight this. Can highlight all this one in case you want to format decimal places. Just highlight. Come to your normal formatting here. You can just click this one to reduce. Click this one to increase. So if I click, it reduces the decimal places. Maybe you can leave it to 2 decimal places. Usually by default it should be 2 decimal places. Oh, I didn't highlight it down to the total. Sorry. Can take it down to the total, then reduce it to 2. It's already in 2 decimal places. That's fine. So this one should also go to 2 decimal places. Okay. The same thing here. So are we following, please? Do we have anybody have any question?
Yes,
So,
I have a question.
okay, go ahead.
From what we have in our average, where we have 700 as a second.
Hey, God. Yeah, madam gas. So, what is all this? What is this, man? Hmm?